Hello, alive one. I am Candleate. I am gonna help you eat your snacks, not literally. Before we start, leave a comment to let me know which part of the living land you are listening from and what snacks are you eating now. Also give a like and subscribe if you are enjoying the stories. Now, prepare your snacks and relax. This is the story of a night that changed everything. A night when the fog hid more than darkness. In the heart of the city, where the streets devoured light and the mist crept like a living creature, there stood a pier that few dared to visit after nightfall. It was a place where shadows whispered secrets and the night held its breath. It was a cold and damp evening when Patricia found herself walking through the mist-veiled streets. The city was unusually quiet, its usual bustle replaced by a suffocating stillness. Streetlights flickered weakly, their glow swallowed by the thick fog curling between the buildings. Patricia's breath hung in the air, small clouds of warmth in a world that had turned cold. Her footsteps were soft against the cracked pavement, muffled by the dense mist. She was heading toward the pier, a place she hadn't visited in years, yet now it pulled at her, like the fog itself was summoning her. The streets narrowed and the shadows deepened. Towering buildings loomed like silent sentinels watching her passage. Her heartbeat quickened as she spotted faint figures ahead, vague, ghost-like shapes lingering just beyond the reach of the streetlights. They didn't move, but somehow she felt their gaze. Unease prickled her skin. She quickened her pace, but the fog only thickened, swallowing the world around her, until all she could hear was her own breath, and the faint sound of waves lapping somewhere in the distance. Then, the pier appeared, a skeletal structure stretching into dark, endless water. The wooden planks creaked beneath her feet as she stepped forward, the ocean wind biting at her cheeks. The pier looked abandoned, except for a small group of figures gathered at the far end. They stood perfectly still, their faces hidden in shadow, all staring down into the water, waiting. Patricia's eyes were drawn to a narrow walkway leading down to the edge. Without understanding why, she moved toward it, the mist swirling like a living shroud around her. Suddenly, a splash echoed through the night. She turned. The figures, young men and women, were silently, one by one, leaping into the black water. Their bodies vanished beneath the surface, consumed by the night. Her heart pounded. This was no gathering of daredevils. They moved like they were possessed, caught in some trance, compelled by an unseen force. Patricia wanted to run, but her legs wouldn't move. The air grew heavier, charged with something unnatural. The fog thickened. It coiled around her like it had intent, like it had a will of its own. And then it appeared. From the mist emerged a tall figure, cloaked in darkness. Its face was hidden behind a pale, expressionless white mask, marked only by a sinister, blood-red smile that glowed faintly in the mist's pale light. The Watcher. Patricia gasped. The Watcher's hollow eyes met hers, and she felt it. Something ancient, cold, a presence that reached into her soul. The jumpers froze and turned toward the Watcher, as if waiting for his command. The fog spun faster now. The world was fading. All that remained was the masked face glowing in the dark. The Watcher slowly raised one hand, and Patricia felt herself being pulled, an invisible force dragging her toward the edge. "Join us," whispered a voice, cold and hollow like wind through an empty grave. "Become part of the mist. part of the night. Terror surged through her. If she resisted, she would surely die in the waters below. But if she surrendered, she would lose herself forever. Then, in one final moment of desperate clarity, Patricia leapt into the freezing black sea. The cold hit her like a hammer. She couldn't breathe. The darkness wrapped around her like a burial shroud. But in the depths, she saw light, flickering fragments of memory, faces, pieces of souls trapped beneath the surface. She fought to rise, gasped for air. But the fog was waiting for her, winding around her like chains. And then, her body changed. She felt the Watcher's presence inside her, ancient and sorrowful. The night welcomed her. She was no longer Patricia. She had become part of the mist. The pier, the city, the world faded away, replaced by endless fog and silence. Now, she is one of them, a guardian of the lost, a shadow watching the shore, waiting for the next to arrive. Back on land, the city lights flicker uneasily. The pier stands empty. The jumpers are gone. The Watcher has vanished into the fog. So if you ever find yourself wandering near that old pier on a misty night, remember, Patricia, because some places don't just hold memories. They hold you.